세러네이 쇼다운 DRX 대 OK저축은행
Thinking to be the choice. Definitely offers a lot of AoE engage. It's fantastic alongside of the Rumble. Provides more frontline for the Yunara.
Dudu has to carry this game. Like, his equalizers have to deny entry to team fights. They have to slow down the approach of this Gwen Wukong, because if you can use the equalizer to keep those melee champions away from your Yunara and then weaken those health bars to where Berserker can press R and start to clean up the fight, then the Rel re-engage comes through, I think it works out. I think the Vi Rumble is not going to be a combo you're looking to use onto the Xayah in most cases in this game. I think it's going to be more for mid-game pressure. In team fights, you can kind of re-engage with it. It's going to be flexible, but you don't want to be going into that meat grinder that is on the other side with the Xayah that can just press R and get away from you.
All right, we got DRX up against the DN Freaks. Let's see what happens in game one.
You know, he's early in his career, like he just doesn't have accolades yet. He's not a world champion. It's hard to think that his voice is going to actually be the one that wins out and actually helps this team come together. Andel's actually going to set a trap here. This could work out incredibly well if they don't read it. And I mean, Dudu has no idea.
Hide on bush here. Sponge is here as well. Dudu has to flash. That's not the flash you were looking for, and now he is absolutely dead as the exhaust comes through. Got a little bit close there, but still, first blood is given over to Rich.
This kind of backfires a little bit.
This was on Vision. Pyosik cleared a ward. We saw him doing that, and then he just started it up. Meanwhile, level 6 hit for Rich. Bunch of needles coming out towards Dudu, and he nearly just dies. Has to back away only because Pyosik is here, but that's just a leash on the Dragon. So DRX say, we're winning the bottom lane. We're getting the Dragon. Sponge just doing 3 grubs on Vision.
Yeah, Quantum is caught as well. There's nobody here.
Yeah. Quantum's like, shouldn't we do something about this, guys? Everybody's like, no.
Rich does not have flash, of course, but Exhaust is going to be very helpful here in this potential defense. Doesn't have a stacked Q, is going to ult.
Yeah, Dudu already tanking the turret, and he is not going down. Rich as the turret shot gets him, and Pyosik even takes one for good measure. The dive is just a 1-for-1. So we got just more trades here in mid. Looks like Bulldog's doing just fine.
Worth of gold will go over to Dudu at least in this case, but see if this is a catch.
Oh boy, Yehu has this all too. Bulldog even takes a turret shot, and that's a kill going over to Sponge. Just a bit over aggressive.
Try to come over and contest this Dragon, but I just don't see the angle here.
It's too late. It is going to be a Chemtech Soul, by the way, on the Sponge. Just kind of awkwardly going to run away from this one. But now the Ghost comes out. Sponge in an awkward spot. Now he's going on to Teddy, actually, who is going to be forced to use something. As finally we see him use his abilities. The flash comes through. The root under the turret. And Berserker just barely, is going to get away. Let's see how that goes, because I think as DRX, you could just look for Yunara and engage onto her, as now that's a very nice wombo combo from the side of DNF, but they're really not doing all that much. Finally, the Timbers does come down, but it's 2 kills to the side of DRX. The issue, though, being is that Berserker is still alive
in that fight. Like, if he was able to close that gap, maybe there's a world, but now DRX regroup faster, will be able to get this Herald.
Just going to Mega Cone his way over to the bottom lane. They don't need him, as what happened here. We are going to have a charge, it looks like. The Smite, though, available, so we're not going to have a crash. All right, just doing a ton of damage to this Dragon. Andel going to go on in. Just presses his ult on a Berserker. They're zoned away, but a lot used here by the side of DRX is down to Andel. And finally, the Wukong will follow up. Trying to just chip away at that front line. They already got the Annie. The burn on a Pyosik is enough. And they pulled off of the Dragon at the same time, as Pyosik wasn't there for the Smite. And so DRX take another big fight here and another Dragon. Yeah, Teddy going to try to turn around as his team comes up. Here comes Quantum. And now a stun on Andel. Looks very much caught out. They have tons of stuns, and it is going to be enough to take down the Nautilus. So nicely done by DNF.
I'm really on the hope train right now, Valdez.
Okay. Gonna be secure here from Pyosik, as now the engage comes in, but that's onto the Wukong. That's not the target you want this time, Quantum, as now Pyosik's gonna go in, provides a front line for Berserker, doing a ton of damage here on the left side. That Feather Storm was totally useless, and the Feathers do not get called back onto anyone. DNF win a fight.
All right, look at that gold lead vanish, down to 300 now. And I don't think Rich is going to be able to do anything to contest here, even with Andel's help. They're just going to have to back out, even maybe looking to try to push the mid-turret, but Bulldog's one step ahead. Yehu looks for the steal with the weirding, isn't going to be able to get it. And they're going to actually pull to Otacon. This means the mid turret should go down. In fact, it will, but I think this is definitely going to be calling worth here for DNF if they could secure this.
I mean, they're already getting poked down a little bit. They got to be extremely careful about this, even in a 5v3 situation.
I mean, Sponge
yeah,
coming over.
Ult's coming in. Like, look at Piosik's health bar. This call, he's just dead. Yeah, who just kills him? And they don't know how to smite anymore. And guess who's coming on over? Rich trying to do some damage, but he's going to be taken out. Doesn't quite work out. They only get Piosik. This Otacon will go the way of DNF. There's no smite, but it doesn't matter because Sponge is not here either.
I don't know about this one, DRX. It's going to have to be a great turn. Sponge no flash, but he's in position to Warrior's Trickster ult.
Oh, they're just going to try to burn it. They're not even turning. Okay, the turn is kind of coming in here. A bit of a go on to Piosik. He's getting low. He flashes out of the pit, and that means there is no hope for this Baron. And a bunch of needles coming out. It looks like Rich is too low. They should be able to take him down, as does Berserker. But DRX got a full Baron out of that play.
See what the Baron gets done here for DRX, though, because they do not have any tempo on the map right now.
Sponge doesn't have his...
Flash is so close!
He doesn't have his W either. He's just dead. It's very, very sad, very silly.
I mean, this is a Chemtech Dragon here. DNF shouldn't overcommit, but I mean, they have a nice angle to potentially flank.
All right, looking for Ondil here. That's a ton of burst damage. They take out the support of DRX, but immediately down goes Quantum as in goes Yehu, kind of going insane on the Aurora, and not necessarily in a good way. He's going to be taken out. Meanwhile, Dudu is going to be pushed away from the fight.
I think he could still escape, though. I don't know about a re-engage here from Teddy. Does have his ult and flash, but the target selection, I mean, who are you really going to go on here? Berserker down his summoners, but he's got his dash back, and they've got an Annie here. This is a really risky situation for DRX. They want the soul badly. I just don't know if it's realistic.
I mean, Dudu has TP, so eventually this just becomes a 4v3. They smartly just wait, and the second the TP comes out, maybe DRX were just kind of posturing to make sure he TPs in.
On both sides, I think it's going to be a sweep, whoever wins this fight. The
Quantum.
Quantum angle
Of the engage here, it's on the Bulldog. I mean, that is a decent target, but he gets the Timbers out, and that's not going to be great. They finally do get Bulldog, but look at this front line just burning. Teddy goes, Teddy nearly takes off Berserker's head, but that means that he loses his own, and now Rich is going to, okay, go golden. But I think eventually, yeah, he just goes down. DNF win a very important fight, and we'll look at the Baron. And if they get that is going to be quite big for their chances in this game. All right, looking for something. We got the big zoom in from Jonah Strong. He could feel it as they're trying to go for the front line. Pretty much anyone, and they're just going to press their buttons on a Sponge, and the follow-up from Quantum is huge, and the equalizer as well on top of it. DNF are too big to fail, and it is actually coming true. They will win game number 1 as Yehu is also taken down, and DNF are crushing it. The fans are already ready to cry. It's just game 1.
Did not finish today, did not fail. 909 Berserker. He is the man to carry this one, but his team set him up in every scenario, and it's a crushing victory here. DRX had a nice lead, but it all fell apart in DNF. And the fact that I could say DNF out-shot-called any LCK team right now
anyone.
Is, I mean, that's this could be a turning point. I'm not saying that it's going to save them or send them to play-ins, but maybe they could play spoiler for the rest of this Rise group.
Yeah, you know. And Bard.
Bard is incredibly strong with this comp because, like the game 1 draft where we thought, okay, this is really tough to play the Yunara, they have all the tools, and I was like, well, Dudu's equalizers have to be really good, you know, it's going to have to be one of those kind of games. I feel like in this one, Rich has to crush lane, he has to be relevant throughout the entire mid game, they have to play through him super well, otherwise this Jhin can't function. The Talia isn't going to be as strong.
Just wait it out, and I think this draft wins eventually, which will happen in this game. Let's hop into the Rift for game number 2. You know, uses the tempo heal, and 2 summoners are actually used by Ondil and Teddy. Heal and the barrier of Teddy. What happened here? Ondil's just dead!
Ondil's having a rough day, man.
First blood given over to Quantum. Just try to farm it out, but he got baited himself. Berserker gets engaged on here in the top lane, as now going to have to use that heal to get away.
You could get Rich here. Like, Rich is donezo, man.
I think Dudu could almost just kill him alone, but either way, he's going to have Skarner here to help out. Piosik with the last hit. As Berserker just backing right in front of them. my guy.
Gets hit by the
Like,
captive audience damage there as well.
The wave is being cleared, so they don't really have a wave. Here comes the Talia as well, and they kill the Senna before any of that happens. Yehu gonna eat 2 turret shots, but he does get away.
Joshik doing a lot of work this game, but was unfortunately not able to get here in time. They also see him on a ward. He's pinged instantly, so they know the timing is really good. The Weaver's Wall here, Atlas would know.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah, he would know. He's like the one guy on our team that just always kind of knows. Going in onto Quantum. He does not have his flash. He has a ton of healing, but there are 3 guys here ready to eviscerate him, and eventually they will do just that. Sponge says, well, I'll take the kill if you don't want it, Teddy. And Sponge does pick up 1.
Berserker not even going to ult. Andil, are you crazy today, or he's really... Oh, it might
kicked
work.
Out of midair, and yeah, he still has his ult, so he's totally fine. Pioche goes for the Impale, but very much overestimating the amount of damage that he and Berserker could do to an Alistair with ult. Quantum is very much playing the way Bard, feels.
Yeah, just like you said yesterday, it's just Bard things. Rich does have, right now, his teleport. As Pioshik is caught, question mark?
Yeah, he's getting exhausted. They have the Jhin as well for the extra damage. The Sentinel is going to help out a bit, but Pioshik just walking in a straight line, didn't have anywhere else to go.
And this is where DRX are trying to make this type of aggressive play, and it's Andil once again who sets Teddy up. They get the root. Pioshik's then stunned. He's just kind of in a bouncy castle. Vin is exhausted even, and he just cannot do anything. Tries to go for the Impale. It's just not going to work out.
Little play down here. Bulldog was... well, bullying Rich. We got TP coming in, but how long is that going to take from the Scion from the top lane? Bulldog, very nice divide. Talia coming on over. Dudu does get here, but it's 4v2 until, well, the rest of the team comes in, but Bulldog is already dead. And so DNF responding big time to that play just to lose Bulldog.
Yeah. Just want to remind DNF.
Yeah. You don't really have to fight for this vision. Taking a bunch of damage already is Pioshik, but so did Andil. We got a wall coming down here. Pioshik will be forced to take a bunch of damage and just rock him into the wall. Meanwhile, Andil is also taking damage on the front line. Sponge, he's the fed one, but he's nearly going to go down. Flash on him from Dudu, gets the job done. And well, Rich, I mean, trying to frontline here. They got a block for Bulldog as, nearly gets Quantum as well on the backside. But actually a pretty good fight for DNF. They win it, and they get away. Meanwhile, Berserker just farming more souls onto Teddy.
And it's going to be hard for DNF to enter. I actually really like this call. Dudu cannot get here without his ultimate. He's going to use it to run over, but he won't have it for the fight.
Yeah, we have a wall coming down, so Yehu says, cool story. But the Bard ultimate going to keep it alive. Pioshik, he's in the pit. They stop it at 3,600. That's very smart from DRX, but already a ton of damage done to Rich. And that means that maybe it wasn't that smart after all. It's going to be a flip, though. The knockup goes on a Sponge. The timing isn't there. And 5 health, and Sponge gets it. That's all you need. Tons of damage, though, from Bulldog on the right side. Impale goes down onto the front line. Sponge will be the sacrifice, but he picks up the Otacon.
Now, can they get the rest of these members out? I think likely yes. Not the greatest chase comp here. They're going to look for a shove.
I mean, they should just be able to get Quantum here. I think reaching a little bit too far.
And with the rapid fire cannon done here for Berserker, I think they're starting to actually be able to just straight up 5v5 here.
Let's see how this goes. Andil, nice angle, but he's going to be spotted. And now it's maybe just going to be another flip here as nice Bard ultimate on a Teddy. And that's the one guy, the setup, but the wall actually going to interrupt the Scion. But still the front line here of DNF looking pretty strong, pretty healthy as Dudu just getting it. Big 3-man knockup from the side of Andil, but the Dragon goes over to DNF. Bulldog on the run, he gets taken out. And now they just exit. They got the Dragon, though, and that's going to extend this game for so long. Yehu just goes in, and it's actually going to work out amazingly for the team. They get 3 on the backside of that fight, and it looks like they'll get a 4th as well.
And I can't even fault Pioshik for the play. Like, that seemed like a slam dunk, but he just has enough health to get away. I don't even think he had Seraph, since this is very funny. Chase the Scion. Chase the Scion. Keep chasing that Scion.
Yeah, there's no Baron, so...
And then run from the Scions, ironically.
That's actually very important, given that there is such a huge gold lead. Like, imagine if DRX were on Soul Point right now. How would DNF fight the next fight? I don't think he really can. As, okay, we're gonna have a wall come down, maybe just trying to trap them, but they do have bards, so.
That's kind of a win for DNF, actually a big win. Teddy caught.
Looking for Teddy, but the issue is, yeah, nobody can really follow up on that. A little bit of a overreach here. Ondil has to go into his own ult. Meanwhile, the knockback here onto the front line is gigantic as DNF just hanging out, and they get punished for it. Down goes the Skarner, and Dudu's just ulting away. Meanwhile, the rest of DNF just trying to run, but the lockdown here from Teddy is there. So we do have some healing. Dudu looks like he is tanky enough. As another big shot will come through, but they got Pyoshik. Yeah, I mean, Ondil just gonna flash away, and I think he just smite this down and go away. So that's totally fine for DRX. That got a bit there on Dudu. As now looking for the angle here on a ridge, but he is quite fast. Just gonna avoid the ult. Not really gonna amount to too much. I like the idea of trying to look for a pick, especially with the Baron push coming on in. And now we have a wall coming in. The knock back on the wall gets sponged into the base. Not sure if they actually wanted that. Pyoshik gonna flash on in. It's a trade of a couple, but down will go Dudu. And DRX will like that one.
Incredible synergy between Ondil and Yehu in this, though. Like, LDR at the ready. I mean, is he even a tank?
Yeah.
Let's find out right now.
It's the thing, Jin can kind of deal with this sponge in an awkward spot, but he is Sinjao, so just kind of ults and walks away.
There are several wards that Bulldog and Dudu can TP to, but they're just gonna go on Pyoshik.
Yeah, they're gonna find Pyoshik here once again. The ult's totally gonna miss. This Bard is also a miss so far in this game, and Quantum should be going down here as well. Rich has got the angle on a Bulldog, who is Azir, and has to flash anyway. The two of them, though, I mean, Azir and Senna do so much, but there haven't been any fights where they can really show off their stuff. Now, 10,000 gold the lead.
Pushing towards the base. And Rich in the lane where the only defense was there for DNF, where they kind of had that one pushed out a little bit. He's like, nah, not really.
I feel like they should sync up the waves a little bit better. Ondil very low, actually. Gonna take a turret shot on top of it all, so gets redemption. In goes Rich. He's just trying to find the angle, just trying to push in and take down the turrets. And Dudu quite low, actually. There's so much ability to get through the Scion. As the last shot is going to get it done. Berserker lands that ult. So you see the chase here from Rich. In goes Bulldog onto that back line, but he's just getting shredded himself. And Berserker just distracted trying to kill an Aatrox. It's not going to happen. The wallets are just too large. And we will have a series on our hands. Game number 3 is on the way as DRX take down game number 2.
I think probably most would agree. Berserker still did 40,000 damage this game, but they couldn't actually turn it into effective elims.
Yeah.
And now, once again, one game away from being eliminated from that play-in contention.
Yeah, there was a way.
Silas is going to be the choice. Fantastic with Lulu. There's a lot of great ults to steal. Can follow the Galio. And this comp is kind of all in on getting into either the backline and taking out Berserker or just re-engaging. I think the re-engages and the follows that DRX can have with their own stolen Galio ult are really good. I mean, basically, anything you steal here outside of, like, the Kai'Sa ult, I guess, is relatively valuable. And the Sivir Prio you can have to then control the map with Nocturne does feel pretty good. I think both of these comps have a similar identity. I just think that it's going to be that if you thought of it as like a turn-based game, DRX go first, and let's see how much they can get on their turns. And
hasn't mattered so far. Let's see what happens here in game number 3.
A late contest of the jungle on Vision. Pyoshik is just going to be like, well, nice try, buddy.
I mean, he could like try to smite it, but yeah, Quantum's here, so Sponge actually gets the favorable damage trade, even with Quantum just hitting him over and over, and Sponge is in a really weird spot. Mid lane is trading at the same time, and eventually Sponge is like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't 1v2 on the enemy side of the map.
You're just tossing flags and be like, get out of here! Shoo! Get out of here, you pesky Nocturne! If Quantum had root there, and
just talk about narrative only the entire time. Like, you have to have some, you know, it's Galio L too, so he doesn't even have to take any risk. He can just sit in mid lane, wait. He doesn't have to face check anything, and he can just press ult when it's time. As now TP is coming in, Nocturne ult utilized. That's the knockup with the Lulu and the Nocturne. And there's the Galio ult from Yehu. But now the counter engage is coming in. The first blood goes to Kai'Sa, because now Teddy in a bunch of trouble. He has to run away, gets cast and flagged to death by the Jarvan. And DNF respond excellently to the setup here of DRX on the Grubs.
Berserker here, chased down by Rich, but he won't be able to do anything. He cannot follow further. You know, maybe the Silas steals an ultimate, and Yehu joins as well, and they start bullying Dudu. Instead,
what's going on up here? Rich, yeah, he thought he was safe with his Nocturne hanging around. The second he backs, they go in.
you know, some poor decision-making, some lack of judgment, is playing through the Sivir, Prio, and Bush, and Teddy getting big. That's the only way, as it is Hextech Soul again, and this is not favorable.
Yeah, I mean, Bulldog's just outplaying him. Yeah, who's just not hitting anything.
And, like, he's on a 1v1, by the way.
Oohs and ahs from the crowd. The flash comes out, but the Cataclysm is there. Yehu with the Kingslayer staying alive. Do they have the damage? Is really the only question, and they do. Absolutely. As Piosic comes over, and they secure themselves a kill. Yeah. Let's see how they do. We do see a bit of damage coming in from Berserker and Quantum. They don't have to be there. Going in onto the Kaisa. The ult comes out, and the flash, which is another reason why it's not the greatest target out of the 80 carry pool to go in on. Another great wolf point, and they didn't get the eye. They were so focused on the engage, they didn't get the eye. And they just don't even know. Rich could have just gone over the wall. They just have no idea. And it's gone.
Wow. DNF are like, your move. Because whoever engages second has a huge advantage, I think, with these two comps. And DRX are going to start this up and try to be the first one to catch that engage.
Yeah, I mean, Piosic's standing right here. Nobody's really doing anything. There's the Cataclysm on a Teddy, but the counter with the Paranoia, and the Redemption does come in. The Cask hits that backline, but it's just looking like a bit of a Galio fest in here as the stolen Galio ultimate. Berserker's in a lot of trouble. The smite does go to DRX, but Yehu does get taken out. A very close fight at this point. Big taunt at the very end, but there it is, the kill from Piosic. He finds his timing after Bulldog sets it up perfectly. And yes, DRX did get the Drake, but DNF get another fight win.
Piosic is here to say no ifs, ands, or buts, but here comes the engage with the Lulu ult.
Yeah, going in onto the Nico. Again, not the best target, but it's gonna work. They're gonna get Quantum.
This is a really tough fight now without vision and no Paranoia. I mean, the timing of this, when it comes back, I think the Otacon might just simply be gone.
Yep, it looks gone. I mean, Sponge is thinking about it, but you can see he's very hesitant. Now they're pushing in as a team, but they see the health bar and they're like, oh, we gotta get out. Nope, 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 we're done with this. That's an Otacon given over for free, essentially, over to DNF. They want to take a fight. They're just diving here as Rich is blown to smithereens. And now we got Sponge jumping straight into the Galio and just dying. DNF are smothering this team, and it's not even close. 11-3, 12-3, as DNF take a huge fight after the Otacon.
Like, this time they have a comp that's pretty basic, straightforward. It hard engages, it kills.
All right, finding it, Quantum sets it up. Rich gonna take a bunch of damage. Now the Nocturne ultimate comes in. Piosic taking a bunch of damage himself, but it doesn't quite matter as Teddy, frontlining, just dies. And that will be this Hextech Drake going over to DNF as well.
Dragon goes over here for free.
Now the ward is there, so DNF got to be careful.
I mean, they get Paranoia in. This is actually a bit scarier than it should be.
It's just like full vision on the objective. So, meanwhile, we got Teddy just by himself as in goes Sponge, but trying to flash, trying to get the smite down is not going to happen. The wallets are just too big. DNF are getting it done. Teddy just died by himself on the bottom side to do.
Accented in? Maybe they're flipping an exclamation mark.
All right, going on in. Only going to catch the Nocturne here, but the Cask is huge. And I think the Wallets have just got the job done here, as it's not the cleanest dive. Dudu actually getting pretty low. Teddy running around a little bit. They got to be careful, but the flash on in, and that is why you pick Jarvan into Sivir, because she cannot run away. And down he will go. Teddy, the last hope of this team here, DRX, look to be the second team to fall to DNF here at the LCK 2025. And DNF, after months of losing, it looks like they have finally figured it out. They have finally been able to put it together and get a victory here once again.
Quantum looks relieved. He steps in. He steps up. Berserker having a night out. Every single one. And you know, there may be those out there saying, this means so much. This might be...
Yeah.
This might be the way these players climb out.
Big bros. Dude,
oh,
look
right.
at that damage.
AP Gragas.
Big fella's got a big damage bar. And to be fair, you know, he really did. Especially that moment where he just assassinated Teddy. Like, what can't the AP Gragas do? I do wonder if teams will take a look at that and be like, huh, Gragas does seem pretty strong. I mean, yes, this was a stomp, but just the way he handled lane and just got to do whatever he wanted was pretty good.
The draft was rough for DRX in this one, but I just want to celebrate Berserker, his first palm of his career, 100 points on
Finally
the
get
board.
to see his palm pose.
Yeah.
You know, just taking a little nap.
He can finally rest!
Thank you very much, guys. This is Steer for the POM interview translation, joined by Berserker on the side of DN Freaks, who got their second win after 88 days. Berserker, congratulations. It was not an easy journey. You escaped such a long losing streak. How do you feel? I feel like it's been a long time since I got back on the stage for the interview, and I feel a little nervous. And in the process of our losing streak, even before the season ended, we really wanted to get another win. And honestly, it's so pleasant to get another win. And I hope that we're able to keep it up and finish the season strong. Yeah, until today, it must have been so challenging for your team. So what did you guys do to bring the team spirit up? In the last week's match, we won, and we lost that one match in a very impossible way. So in the end, we had some players swap, and after a long time, we were able to win. So I'm really grateful that we were able to get back on pace. And yeah, Quantum, after 1 year, is back on the LCK stage as a starter, and with not much time to build bot synergy. What did you focus on practicing? Honestly, throughout the practice, I was wondering if this is the right thing to do. But as we were able to play on stage, I think even when our opinions clashed, I think just trying even harder to stay on page actually made us stronger as a team. In Game 1, you guys confidently picked Yunara as the R1 pick, and it looked like there was high priority over her. So what strength did you discover during practice? I only played Yunara in scrims twice, but when I played, her laning phase is actually really strong, and even in the early game you do pretty well, and she's very good at maintaining her power spikes, so I felt like she was definitely high up on the tier list. Yeah, this was a pick that you guys were taking, even giving up Wukong, Gwen, and Aurora, so is it just that valuable? Yeah, I think our top had to really tank that hit for me to play Yunara, and I think our mindset was that Yunara has to carry and win the game. And then in Game 3, you guys got Jarvan as the B1 pick, so what was the team's impression of J4? Just looking at the overall picture, it looked like J4 would be a lot more supportive for helping the bot lane out, so I think we really wanted to get that Jarvan pick first and then finish the rest of the comp around the Jarvan. And your Game 3, you guys really took your time to close it out. And your next opponent will be D plus Kia. What are your goals for the remaining matches? As much as our fans already know, I feel like our team is really strong mechanically. But obviously, we seem like we're underperforming just based on our result. So I really want to make sure that we're able to showcase that we can actually show up. And I want to make sure to prepare even harder to win in our next upcoming match. And of course, one of the reasons you were able to win today was all of your fans here on site cheering for you. And there were fans who were shedding tears even. So would you like to say anything to your fans? Well, first of all, I think the only thing I can say is thank you. Thank you so much for always having our back and supporting us. Despite all the losing streak, they always tell us not to give up. And that's what really gives us the energy to even get the win today. So I want to make sure that we're able to pay the support back by showing up in the future. Congratulations once again, and that's the end of the interview with Berserker. And back to the space. Thank you.